Hi, welcome back. We're going to get real Old Testament today, folks. We're going to talk about plagues. And I don't mean coronavirus. Plants get diseases too. And here in this garden, I have problems with rust, specifically on my hollyhocks. So I'm going to show you how I treat that and how I try to maintain cleanliness. And I'm just going to give you some tools to deal with that. And we'll talk about some other common diseases that can come up, specifically with vegetables too. And then I'm going to be planting out some Dichondra repens. It's called kidney weed, and it's a great little ground cover, and we're going to put that in the stones, and it'll help kind of keep down weeds and things. So come on along. Alcohol prep pads, very important, because they keep your tools sterile, especially when you're dealing with disease. First thing we're going to do is we're going to cut off these leaves that you can tell have been infected. And believe it or not, this is actually looking better than it did the last time. I've been doing this every week. And it seems like once it really starts blooming, it starts to get better. Bottom. So gross. Oops. See, look, one just fell, and it's important that I get that up because the disease can go right back into the soil.
Rust is a fungal disease that attacks roses, hollyhocks, snapdragons, daylilies, beans, and tomatoes. The only plants that I've had rust issues with are these lovely, tall hollyhocks. It's been a couple of years that I've been dealing with it, and I may need to decide whether it's worth it to keep fighting it or whether I should just pull them out. We seem to have more than our fair share of fungus-related diseases here in the Pacific Northwest because of all the moisture, and our infamous Juneuary, which can give many plants a rocky start to the summer. Another fungal disease is called powdery mildew, and that's one that I've had to grapple with in the past as well. This year, I made sure to buy vegetable seeds that were all resistant to powdery mildew. And knock on wood, so far I have not had any issues with it. Powdery mildew can attack peas, including flowering sweet peas, zucchinis, and cucumbers. Tomato blight is another common fungal disease. Blight can come in both early and late varieties, joy of joys, though I haven't had to deal with it, knock on wood, in several years. Again, a lot of that is due to making sure to buy disease-resistant varieties. Also, if you live in a cooler climate, it's really a good idea to try and find tomato varieties that can grow and ripen quickly. That will also help to stave off disease. Another disease that I've dealt with in the past is verticillium wilt. This arose in some potatoes that I planted in a plot, and the disease stayed in the soil and attacked strawberries that I planted there later on. So I had to find things to plant in that area for a few years that were not susceptible to verticillium wilt.
Neem spray. Right. I'm actually going to put on my COVID mask for this to protect myself.
I am using neem oil on these hollyhocks. I really don't like using sprays of any kind. However, neem oil is certified by OMRI, the Organic Materials Review Institute, as safe to use in organic gardening. It's practically non-toxic to birds, mammals, bees, and plants. However, it is toxic to fish and other aquatic organisms, so don't use it around a pond or water feature. Some people do use it as a pesticide for tiny insects like aphids because it can kill small insects that are feeding on the plant itself, but most people use it for its fungicidal effects. These hollyhocks are not in flower, so I don't need to worry about the bees even coming into contact with it, and honestly, the smell of it will keep them away. But as I said before, if this is an issue that continues to be bad in future years, then I may decide to give the hollyhocks a break for a few seasons, because I would prefer not to have to repeatedly be using any kinds of sprays. Sometimes you do have to take stock and make difficult decisions in gardening.
And sterilize these scissors because I don't want to pass that rust onto anything else.
I'm going to toss out these rust-stricken leaves in the city compost, certainly not my own compost. I don't want to spread this disease to anything else. Now let's give the plagues a rest and turn our attention to planting new life and young baby seedlings. I have here a flat of little seedlings called Dichondra repens, commonly called either kidney weed or mercury bayweed. Apparently. It is new to me. I found the seeds off a seller in Etsy. This plant is supposed to be excellent for planting between paver stones and will develop a long taproot which helps it to dig for water. Here I have a nice little spot between some pavers to plant my first seedling. Haha, your butter knives are not safe from me. I'm using this all-purpose tool to loosen up the stones. I will add a little bit of soil from the nearby bed. Nothing fancy, we don't need rich soil for this plant. Mix that up well. So I used that butter knife to gently support the base of the seedling as I lifted it out of the flat by its true leaves. Now I'm carefully placing it into a little divot that I have created. The trick here is to keep these seedlings nice and watered while they're small and still developing, but not to attract any sow bugs or pill bugs, which can devour the little seedlings. One solution is to sprinkle some diatomaceous earth around the seedlings. It's totally organic, and it can repel any soft-bodied insects. They don't want to walk over that sharp grit.
We had some fun today learning about different types of gross diseases and what you can do to try to keep your plant healthy, just like we're all trying to stay healthy right now. And showing you that you can actually even grow ground covers from seed if you want to put in between your stones, and that can save you a lot of money. So thanks so much, and I'll see you next time.